Toxic Corporate Culture, Why Corporate Culture is Toxic for the Human Soul and Evolution by The Alchemist Dreams, sansdreams.substack.com. Corporate culture dominates much of our waking lives. For millions, the corporate environment is an unavoidable reality, one that dictates how we think, interact, and even define success. But what if this very structure, designed to promote efficiency and profitability, is stifling the human soul and inhibiting evolution? Beneath the carefully constructed facades of innovation, team spirit, and professional growth, corporate culture often breeds discontent, conformity, and spiritual decay. Here we explore why corporate culture is fundamentally toxic and how it impedes human evolution on multiple levels. The illusion of purpose, the commodification of human potential. At its core, corporate culture presents itself as a haven for purpose and career growth. Companies boast about their missions, values, and their dedication to personal development. Yet in reality, these institutions commodify human potential, turning individuals into mere cogs in an ever-churning machine. Employees are often trapped in cycles of repetitive tasks, arbitrary performance reviews, and hierarchical struggles that have little to do with actual personal fulfillment. The human soul, which yearns for meaning, creativity, and authentic engagement, is instead reduced to productivity metrics and efficiency charts. Suppression of individuality, a factory for conformity. One of the most damaging aspects of corporate culture is its inherent suppression of individuality. While many organizations claim to value diversity, the reality is that they often demand strict adherence to corporate norms. Employees are pressured to dress a certain way, communicate in scripted corporate lingo, and embrace company values that often serve only the bottom line. Authentic self-expression is sacrificed in favor of homogenization. Those who think differently or question the status quo are either sidelined or eliminated, leading to an ecosystem where innovation is suffocated and personal growth is hindered. Stress, burnout, and the erosion of well-being. The demands of corporate life, long hours, relentless competition, and unceasing performance expectations leave little room for genuine well-being. Chronic stress, anxiety, and burnout have become epidemic within corporate environments, causing physical, mental, and emotional deterioration. The notion of work-life balance is often nothing more than a public relations gimmick, as employees are subtly pressured to sacrifice their health and personal lives for the sake of corporate success. Over time, this relentless pace diminishes vitality, creativity, and even the ability to experience joy. That's an undeniable erosion of the human soul. The morality dilemma, encouraging ethical blindness. Corporate structures prioritize profit above all else, leading to an environment where ethical compromises become routine. Employees are often forced to choose between integrity and job security, making moral concessions to meet targets, secure promotions, or align with corporate strategies. This normalization of ethical ambivalence erodes the moral compass of individuals, leading to a culture where exploitation, dishonesty, and corporate greed are justified in the name of business growth. When individuals repeatedly suppress their values to align with corporate objectives, their spiritual and moral evolution is severely stunted. Detachment from nature and authentic human connection. The corporate world is increasingly digital, mechanized, and detached from nature. Employees spend the majority of their time indoors interacting with screens instead of engaging with the natural world. Moreover, corporate interactions are often transactional rather than genuine, fostering shallow relationships based on professional necessity rather than authentic connection. This detachment not only alienates individuals from nature and each other, but also from themselves. The human soul, which thrives on meaningful relationships, community, and a connection to the environment, withers under the artificial constraints of corporate life. The inhibition of true evolution. Human evolution, both biological and spiritual, depends on growth, adaptation, and the continuous expansion of consciousness. Corporate culture, however, stagnates human potential by keeping individuals trapped in cycles of obedience, financial dependence, and societal validation. Instead of pushing the boundaries of thought, philosophy, and spiritual enlightenment, people are encouraged to accumulate material possessions, chase fleeting status symbols, and dedicate themselves to a system that ultimately does not serve their highest potential. This stasis is the antithesis of true evolution, which demands courage, creativity, and transcendence of outdated systems. The psychological impact: learned helplessness and emotional numbness. Many corporate employees experience a sense of learned helplessness, the psychological state where individuals feel powerless to change their circumstances. The rigidity of corporate structures, the bureaucracy, and the illusion of career progression keep people locked in a state of compliance. Over time, this results in emotional numbness, where individuals no longer question their dissatisfaction, but instead accept it as a necessary trade-off for stability. This erosion of curiosity, ambition, and self-worth is one of the most insidious ways in which corporate culture damages the human spirit. If corporate culture is as toxic as it appears, how can we reclaim our individual and collective evolution? Reconnecting with purpose. Instead of aligning with corporate missions that do not serve the soul, individuals should seek careers and projects that align with their values and passions. Prioritizing well-being, mental, physical, and emotional health should come before corporate demands. This means setting firm boundaries, advocating for humane work practices, and valuing rest and reflection. Fostering authenticity, the courage to express individuality, question authority, and challenge outdated paradigms is essential for personal and collective evolution. Building communities outside corporate influence. Finding like-minded individuals who prioritize creativity, growth, and genuine human connection can help counteract the isolating effects of corporate culture. Exploring alternative work structures. Entrepreneurial ventures, cooperative business models, and freelance lifestyles offer pathways to greater autonomy and fulfillment. Conclusion: corporate culture as it stands is fundamentally toxic for the human soul and counterproductive to our evolution. It stifles creativity, enforces conformity, erodes morality, and disconnects us from both nature and ourselves. If we are to progress as a species, not just technologically, but spiritually and emotionally, we must challenge the very foundations of corporate life and seek new ways of living and working that nurture the human spirit rather than deplete it. The revolution begins with individual awakening, leading to collective transformation. Only then can we reclaim our true evolutionary potential.